What's good? What's good, everybody? Welcome back to another episode of the Urban Platform Speaks. Make sure to like and subscribe as you tune into the channel and check out the content. And with that being said, man, I want to speak on a guy who, Tom Chambers, right? Tom Chambers played in the 80s and into the 90s, man. Let me see. I think Tom Chambers played for the Phoenix Suns and he played for the Seattle Supersonics, right? Tom Chambers was a bad dude. And I recently was listening to a podcast where they were talking about, people was wondering why Tom Chambers was not in the Hall of Fame. And so, I think, in my opinion, I agree with these guys. I think that Tom Chambers should be in the Hall of Fame. Tom Chambers was bad. You had a dude in Tom Chambers who was 6'11", could jump out the gym, play tough defense, and could score. He could score lights out. And so even in this picture right here, man, you see Charles Barkley down there getting out the way because Tom Chambers would dunk on you. He would dunk on you. And this other picture right here you see with Tom Chambers. I don't know who this guy is from New York. This was when Tom Chambers was with Phoenix, but I do remember this Tom Chambers' knees was like almost in this guy's mouth, right? Both knees. And then he dunked it with two hands and just swung on the rim a little bit, man. And I was like, wow, who in the world is this guy, man? But Tom Chambers, he was something else. And so what I want to do here though is I want to play some audio of different people just talking about Tom Chambers and how great he was. Let me see. Isaiah on here, Bernard King. Tom was that dude. Hold up. Let me see.
Dirk, some really, really good players. But Tom was the first of that type. 6'11", could run up and down the court, could shoot, athletic.
Unbelievable jumper, leaper, shoot it from the perimeter, tough.
Tom Chambers was one of the highest jumping guys I've ever seen in my life. White, black, blue, green, purple, I don't care what color. Now, I've watched this guy take off and just sit on people's neck.
I still don't know why Tom's not in the Hall of Fame. That, to me, makes no freaking sense. Tom is one of the greatest players to play in the history of the game, and there's no reason why he shouldn't be in the Hall of Fame. I had to face him, I know.
Tom Chambers, look it up. Very few people in our league have scored 60. Tom Chambers is one of them.
So yeah, that was Isaiah Thomas and Bernard King. So Isaiah Thomas said, man, look it up. This guy, Tom Chambers, scored 60 points. And like I said earlier, Tom Chambers, when it came to scoring, right, I mean, he could definitely fill it up. And also, another guy who spoke on Tom Chambers' behalf was Bernard King. And Bernard King, everybody know about Bernard King, man, and how good Bernard King was. But for Tom Chambers, man, to not be in the Hall of Fame, and is just, I don't know what is the criteria, because just on his NBA career alone, Tom Chambers just was that dude. And so I don't know, like I said, what the criteria is, what they use when they select these guys for the Hall of Fame. But Tom Chambers was that dude. And anytime you have people like Isaiah Thomas speaking up on your behalf, you have people like Bernard King speaking up on your behalf, and his teammate, Kevin Johnson. I remember Kevin Johnson when they played for Phoenix in the 80s and in the 90s. Kevin Johnson was one of the best point guards in the league. And Kevin Johnson and Tom Chambers got a lot of highlights together, with Kevin Johnson coming down the court on a break and just feeding the ball to Tom Chambers, and Tom Chambers finishing over people. That's a lot of what they did, And he was a matchup nightmare, you know, because he was a big guy, 6'11", who moved. I mean, he was athletic. So you got a guy who's 6'11", but he don't move like a center or a power forward. He moved. He was like a small forward in a center's body. You know, that's how he moved, and that was his style of play. You know, like slashing to the board, dunking on people. That was just his style of play, just because he had that athletic ability and he could do that, you know. And I always like to look at this picture here. When I remember, man, like I said, when Tom Chambers came down the court, he came down the center of the court, man, and jumped. This was against New York, and he had his knees in this guy's face, both knees, and his head, Tom Chambers' head, was like right at the rim, and he swung on the rim. He dunked on the guy and swung on the rim. Man, that was a tough play right there. And I also seen him do. You know, this wasn't the only time he did this. He did this like another time he played in the All-Star game, and man, yeah, Tom Chambers just was mean. And for somebody to be that great of a ball player and not be in the Hall of Fame, I just think that's a crime. Bernard King said the same thing, that, you know, it's excuse me. It's a shame that he's not in the Hall of Fame. You know, for somebody to have the type of career that he had and be able to do the things that he can do, just crazy. It's just crazy, man. And I don't know what their criteria is. But you know, hopefully Tom Chambers will get in there, man, because I really enjoyed watching him play. I really did, man. And yeah, young Tom Chambers was a real problem. And yeah, so that's my take on it. Hopefully Tom Chambers will make it to the make it to the Hall of Fame, and you know, because he definitely deserved to be in there. And so that's my take on it. Make sure to like and subscribe. Also, don't forget to leave a comment, and I will check you all out in the next video. Peace.